from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight on a cloudy night outside, it's the Chicago Cubs and the Houston Astros opening a 3-game series. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Minute Maid Park. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays after Wandy Rodriguez was impressive yesterday in the shutout win over the Reds, JD.
Boy, he sure was. 7 innings of one-hit ball for Wandy yesterday. A little bit different story tonight now as Wesley Wright goes to the hill. Just his second major league start. His first one came last week in Chicago. Pitched pretty well and then got roughed up a little bit in the 5th inning. Big air didn't really help out, but another chance for Wesley Wright to press his case to stay in his starting rotation.
Carlos Silva's his mound opponent, and the Astros have had their way with the Cubs this year.
This season, the Astros have enjoyed success against the Chicago Cubs. 6 wins and only 3 defeats have seen every close game fall the Astros' way. Last week at Wrigley Field, the Astros took 2 of 3 with a dramatic extra inning win in the series finale. Everybody stay alert and make a play. It's the Cubs and the Astros next on Fox Sports Houston.
Astros baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers and the 2010 F-150. By Jack in the Box and by the Progressive Insurance Group. Yes. The Astros take the field. They were out for early hitting today. Lance Berkman, some of the other guys getting in some extra swings with Jeff Bagwell in the cage. Now time to see if it works as the Cubs meet the Astros in the first of a 3-game series. The Astros have won all 3 of their series against Chicago. Each time they've won 2 of 3. Lou Piniella, with his club arriving about 3:15 in the morning, goes with this lineup tonight. It's Tyler Colvin in right field, Starlin Castro at shortstop, Derek Lee at first base. Aramis Ramirez is the cleanup man. He's been cleaning it up very well. He's at third base with Marlon Byrd in center field, Alfonso Soriano at left, Giovanni Soto the catcher, Ryan Theriot at second. Carlos Silva is the pitcher.
The scouting report is brought to you by Suzuki. We'll take a look at 25-year-old Wesley Wright making his second start against the Chicago Cubs. Last week pitched at Wrigley Field. Career left-handed hitters hitting 265, righties 258. Righties beating him up a little bit this year, but not that many at-bats. And he features fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. And defensively, Lee Bourne and Pence will run him down in the outfield. Infield patrolled by Chris Johnson, Angel Sanchez, Jeff Kempinger, Lance Berkman, Jason Castro. Home plate.
And another lefty after Jason was talking about the lefty Wandy Rodriguez, who pitched so brilliantly yesterday, giving up 1 hit in 7 innings. Wesley, last time against the Cubs, had a nice start, but wound up with 4 2/3 innings of 6-hit, 6-run baseball. Only one of the runs earned. There was a costly error made behind him. Gave up a 3-run homer to Aramis Ramirez through 92 pitches, and those numbers, of course, do not look good, but there were some good things about that start, JD.
Yeah, you know, I've always been intrigued by Wesley Wright. I mean, he's got a good fastball, and he's got a little bit of a sneaky delivery. He hides the ball well. He's got a good breaking pitch. He went to winter ball this year to help develop a changeup with an eye towards becoming a starter. He had been a reliever in the big leagues, up until this little appearance he's getting this year.
Ball 1 to Colvin.
So I think, with any pitcher, especially a guy who's still pretty young and trying to feel his way at the major league level, it's all about consistency with Wesley.
2 balls, no strikes to Colvin, one of the exciting National League rookies who, with 15 homers, leads all National League rookies. He's driven in 36 runs with a .262 batting average. And Colvin lately has been a major part of the Cubs offense. He's hit leadoff homers in consecutive games last weekend. That's a strike, and that makes it 2-1 with Brian Knight, the home plate umpire for this game. Colvin's become an everyday player. He's started in the outfield now in 28 of the last 34 games. And this Colvin Castro 1-2 punch at the top has worked quite well for Lou Piniella. Little roller brings Wesley Wright over. He gets an easy out on a check swing, 1 away.
Wesley, a good athlete, has no problems with this one. Bounces off the mound, gets to it in fine fashion. Then it's just a matter of taking your time and making a good, accurate throw.
Now yet another talented Cubs rookie, 20-year-old shortstop Starlin Castro from the Dominican Republic. He's been lighting it up. He's on a 5-game hitting streak, .478 for the last 5 games. Tried to bunt his way on, and he missed for strike 1. And Castro has good speed, .307 batting average, 3 homers, 31 driven in. He became the youngest shortstop in Cubs history when he came up from Double-A at age 20. Hit a 3-run homer in his first at bat.
Drove in 6 in his first game. Set the bar awfully high.
That's the most for any player in his big league debut. 4 others had 5. Castro in July has hit .382 with a homer and 13 driven in.
He's been awfully good for the Cubs. He's had some bad games as well and struggled defensively in one game in particular when the Astros were over at Wrigley Field last week. I guess that's to be expected. Such a young player just needs to smooth some things out in his game. Sometimes gets a little lackadaisical, I think.
He is 6 for 24 against Houston pitching with 3 runs batted in. Cubs lost in the 11th last night to St. Louis in Chicago. Line into right center. Castro is out of the chute. Takes the big turn. He's going to second. Hunter Pence's throw. The tag by Sanchez. Safe. Castro really hustling, and it was a very close play for umpire Vic Carapazza, a rookie.
Brad Mills out to have a chat because it looked like Carapazza was going to ring him up. It looked like he was positioning himself to call him out. I don't know if the ball came loose. This is a great swing to begin with. A good pitch down and away, and he just shoots it into the alley in right center. Hunter's throw is strong and accurate, and it looked to me like Castro was in there. Yeah, I think he got it right.
One question is, a tag was kept on him, so did he ever have a foot off the base here?
No, yeah, you would need to break that down into super slow motion many times over to be able to justify making that call.
There it was, JD.
Yeah, Sanchez doing
right there.
You might accuse Angel of a moving pick as well.
Derek Lee, the batter.
Do a little Ken Herbeck and just push him off the base and tag him.
That's not allowed, of course. 251 for Lee, 11 homers, 44 driven in, and he's hit 342 against Astros pitching. He's a .302 career hitter against Houston with 22 long balls. Had some good swings at Wrigley Field against the Astros a few days ago. That's a strike to him, and it's 1-1. He had 7 hits in that 3-game series at Wrigley, but at Minute Maid for his career, 241. 7 homers. He got off to a rough start this year. He may be going somewhere in a deal. Pick off at second. Save.
Yeah. Very close. The Jeff Keppinger with Derek Lee up there is playing right behind second base. And as I mentioned, Castro sometimes gets a little lackadaisical, a little out to lunch every now and then, I guess you should say, mentally. And Keppinger came in. He flashed the bare hand at West and said, let's take a shot at him.
Lee takes it, and it's ball 2. There are a couple of clubs are thought to be shopping for first baseman, the Yankees and the Angels.
Watch Keppinger. Watch the bare hand. That's a signal to Wesley. Come on, we got a shot at him.
Whether Lee is playing well enough to be attractive in a trade to clubs like the Angels and Yankees is a fair question right now. Fouled away. 2-2. Some think Derek is not really moving around all that well this year. He has had a couple of injuries. They love that play. They wore their gear. They got a first inning foul ball already. That's a good start to the evening. A year ago, 285 compared to 251 now, with more homers, of course. Here's the catch by the fan.
He's here every night. A lot of times he sits right down below us. He's got good range and really well positioned there.
And it was wide open to his left, so plenty of room for him to move in that direction.
Brian, you going to trade him?
No.
No, not him. Derek Lee.
If the Cubs, were interested in that, I would understand it. I don't know about another team picking him up.
What's his contract look like?
It's the last year. Don't know how much he's making. But I just don't know. He's not having that good a year. Lately, a lot better results, 8-game hitting streak. So maybe a team thinks that he can, retain the bat speed that they're looking for here in the final couple months of the season.
So it's always a tough call with a player. Is the guy just having an off year? Would he be energized going to a new team?
Right.
Go on a tear for you.
He rocks this one to right field. Hunter Pence backing, reaching up, and he snags it. Castro tagging. Now, Lee certainly looked like a guy that many teams would want. The way he played against the Astros at Wrigley a few days ago, he was hitting doubles, gappers in both directions. Hit that line drive hard for the second out.
He's 34 years of age. And we've seen him do this before, too, where he'll struggle for a half a year or so, then really turn it on. I guess it just depends on how desperate a club is or what their needs are. But
well, for instance, the Yankees aren't really desperate. They've got Mark Teixeira, but Lee could be a backup in case of a Teixeira injury, and he could DH some. Give Teixeira a day off here and there. The Angels lost their first baseman, Kendry Morales, early in the season. Ramos Ramirez, 227, has 15 homers. And 47 driven in for Ramirez.
Are the Yankees in the market for a first baseman?
Well, there have been some rumors that they are. That's not their primary target. Ramirez, during a 6-game hitting streak, has gone 9 for 25. And on that homestand, including the Astros visit, he hit 5 homers, drove in 15 runs batted in, while hitting .341. Wesley Wright knows all about him from their head-to-head meeting 6 days ago. 1 ball, 1 strike. 3 homers and 7 runs batted in that game for Aramis Ramirez. 2 of the long balls came off Wesley.
Yeah, he went from having a bad year to a good year in one day.
Yeah. There he is on the list. Most damaging hitters against the Astros in a career. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Hawk ranks 8th. Some Hall of Famers there.
Tony Perez, number 1 on that list.
Ramirez has 9 homers in his last 16 games. 24 runs batted in. Marlon Byrd's on deck. Cubs have really scored runs well since the All-Star break. Now back and still 1-2.
You got to come in on him. You cannot afford to just stay away unless you're picture perfect.
19 pitches in. Wesley Wright has thrown a dozen strikes. Yeah, he got hurt. The hanging curveball too. Ramirez with that 3-run homer in the 5th inning when he pitched Tuesday in Chicago.
There's the Fox tracks showing you where those pitches have been. Outside corner or beyond with each offering, and they got him looking out there, so you got to take a shot inside. Fastball away again.
Foul away.
He was able to get to it. I mean, if you're going to throw out there, I think you got to stay off the plate because you definitely have him leaning and looking out there. I would imagine Brad Arnsberg, somebody's in that dugout. Come on, take a shot inside.
Jason Castro really praised the work of Wandy Rodriguez yesterday, establishing his fastball. That set up his curveball so well. Got a lot of strikeouts on the curve.
Taking ball down.
And he tops it. Still 1-2.
Well, maybe they've got a different report. We talk a lot about the basic tenets of pitching. Move the ball in and out, change speeds, all that good stuff. But maybe their report, maybe they just feel like, hey, let's just stay away from this guy. Stay away. And the occasional breaking ball, we'll see. But generally, once you get a guy leaning out there, you feel like you got him set up to get in on him if you can make the pitch. Now they're going to take a shot at him.
And they get it. Well placed by Wesley Wright. At 91, he strikes out Ramirez. No runs, a hit. A runner stranded at 3rd. No score. Lance Berkman at first. Hunter Pence right field. Carlos Lee left field. Jeff Kepitzer second base. Chris Johnson is teed off against the Cubs this season. He's at third with Jason Castro, the catcher, and Wesley Wright, the pitcher.
Starting pitcher brought to you by Suzuki. For the Cubs tonight, it's big right-hander Carlos Silva. How long will he last? Just an inning last time against the Astros and an inning and a third in his previous start. But he has great command, throws a lot of strikes, just 21 walks this year. Carlos Lee got very good numbers against Carlos Silva, so we'll keep an eye on that one for you.
Michael Bourne had a big day yesterday. Strike one to Michael. He had a 2-run double in the 7th inning. That was his 3rd hit of the game, going 3 for 4. And line drive. Carry to right field. Coleman back. Bangs off the base of the wall. Bourne turns and heads for second, and the throw hits him as he's in with a double. That's his 2nd double in as many at-bats and his 20th of the year.
And Michael, I think, got caught there thinking that ball was going to fly out of the ballpark, and he was able to find that extra gear between first and second and kick it in and beat that throw. It's a good swing on it. Almost knocks it out of here off the base of the wall, and Coleman right there, and a good strong throw. So, 2 pitches into this game, Carlos Silva probably, here we go again. Last time against the Astros, 1 inning, 7 hits, 5 runs. Could not answer the bell for the 2nd round.
Faced 11 men in that 1st inning. Angel Sanchez at 321, driven in 4. He takes ball 1. Sanchez got the day off yesterday. Anderson Hernandez got a start at shortstop. Angel's on a 7-game hitting streak, hitting .419 during those 7. Ground ball to shortstop. Castro will look at third, but throw to first. 1 out as Bourne moves.
Yeah, and I would imagine the Cubs would say, don't even look at third with Michael Bourne going. Just throw the ball to first base. You could get yourself in a little bit of a bind and make an errant throw.
The speed of Bourne allows him to advance on the routine ground at a shortstop. Cubs play the infield back for Lance Berkman. Lance was out for extra swings before the normal batting practice today. Trying to snap out of a tailspin. He's 1 for his last 23. And the high heater produces a check swing with a call by Greg Gibson.
Now, the legs have just not been there for Lance all year. With the knee surgery, every time he tries to strengthen his legs, the knee kind of blows up on him, so he can't do the work he wants to do to strengthen his legs. So now the goal is to try to tweak the swing a little bit and find a way to keep that weight back. Maybe with a little bit more of an initial load on the backside.
Carlos Silva's a 9-game winner. Berkman takes, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike.
And we talked about his struggle the last 2 times out, but other than that, he's been very good. You can see Lance has not been very good at all lately. 1 out of 20, but Silva got out to a great start. Started the season 8-0.
Berkman takes a changeup. 3-1 to Lance.
First Cub pitcher to start his career 8-0 since King Cole back in 1910.
King Cole?
King Cole, yep.
Nat King Cole?
Soul. No, just King Cole.
Okay.
Probably Bob King Cole.
Liner to center field will be an RBI single for Berkman. 1-0 Astros. Lance got a 3-1 pitch. Hit it out over second base for RBI number 45. Start for the Astros with Hunter Pence trying to play add-on now. Hunter fouls the first pitch. There's strike 1. He's on a 3-game hitting streak, .268 average, 15 homers, 48 runs batted in. Tied for the club lead with Carlos Lee and runs batted in. He went on a rampage against the Reds over the weekend, going 6 for 13 with 2 homers, 4 driven in. He's hitting .424 in July at Minute Maid Park. 0-2 to Hunter.
Silva Changeup probably his best pitch, and that's why he's more effective against left-handed hitters than righties. Lefties hit 222 against them, righties 288, but they're showing a willingness to throw that changeup to a right-handed hitter.
Way up, and it's 1-2.
It doesn't have. I think from what I've seen of Silva, his breaking pitch is probably his least effective pitch. It's pretty good sink on his fastball, has that real good changeup.
Silva strikes out Pence. 2 outs. Carlos Lee will be next.
Well, let's take a peek at the Cubs defensively now. Outfield of Soriano, Bird, and Colvin. Infield featuring Ramirez, Castro. You see the error is 14. That's a bunch. We can also dazzle you. Ryan Terry is the second baseman tonight. Derek Lee down at first. Giovanni Soto does the catching.
Carlos Lee, a .298 career hitter with 32 homers against the Cubs. Steps up against Silva next. Off-speed pitch missing. There's ball 1 to Carlos. .234, 12 homers, 48 runs batted in for Lee. Jeff Keppinger's on deck. 1 ball, 1 strike. The first time Silva pitched against the Astros, April 16th at Chicago, he won that game 7-2, 7 strong innings, no earned runs allowed. First 11 starts, 8-0 with a .293, last 7, 1-4. 2 balls and a strike. Ted Lilly gets the call tomorrow night for Lou Piniella. His name is being circulated in many trade rumors right now. He's 3-8 this year with a 3.88 ERA. Not getting much run support at all. Just a brilliant game against the Astros in Chicago last week. 3-1 to lead. Astros are 4-5 since the All-Star break. The Cubs went 6-4 on their homestand. Lou Piniella said they could have been 9-1 if they had done a few things a little bit better.
Well, they could have, should have.
Yeah.
A lot of hits in this game. They've lost more one-run games than any team in baseball.
.22 one-run losses, 13 wins in those one-run games. High to left field, it's hooking. It's foul. Reach the tracks. Three balls, 2 strikes to El Caballo.
Silva trying to establish his soft stuff early here today.
Berkman's going, and it's hit in the air, right field line. Colvin over. Colvin reaching down and on the run. He snags it with a good effort to end the Astros first. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. 1-0 Houston.
Well, before I knew it, I saw the ball coming up, and I told Debbie, I said, here it comes. And by the time I stood up, there was the ball. I reached out. I got lucky this time. I caught it.
Now, you're saying this is your second foul ball to catch this season? 4 last season?
4 last season.
Unbelievable. You're a season ticket holder? How many years?
5 years been a season ticket holder. I live in Grid City, which is outside of Beaumont, so it's quite a drive for me to come here, but I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the Astros.
Of all those plays, what's the best play you made?
The Luke Scott. I was behind home plate. I had to run down the empty seats, caught the ball on the fly. I mean, I was pure luck that time, but that's one I'll never forget.
Luck counts, and for that, you are a progressive fan of the game, Dick Cuneo, a guy with range, Brownie.
And he's just like all baseball players. He remembers every great play.
That's exactly right.
3 balls, no strikes as Marlon Byrd leads off the second inning. Thanks, Bart.
And just like the Astros, he had a better year last year than this year. He's got time, though. He can catch 2 more.
Yeah. Marlon Byrd looks at a strike. 312 for Marlon. That's the 5th best average in the league. He has 10 homers, 44 driven in, and he's hit .333 against the Astros. He's tattooed lefties this year, and this time it's a leadoff walk for Marlon Byrd. Wesley Wright had walked 5 in 14 and a third innings. Now he'll be working from the stretch to Alfonso Soriano. Juan Jesus is the first base coach for the Cubs. Soriano with 18 homers, 53 runs batted in, has a .269 average, and the 8th best slugging percentage in the league, .531.
A very dangerous hitter. Another guy that you got to make sure you do your work inside on because he really covers the plate well. At AAA this year, we're talking about Wesley going to winter ball and working on a changeup to further enhance his repertoire, give him a better chance to start. And then this year at AAA, Bert Hooton had him throwing more 2-seamers, trying to sink the ball a little bit. It's really seeing it looks like a true sinker, but if you can just get a little tail, a little run, some downward movement, could help. Might get a double play ball for you, and just give the hitter something different to look at.
1-1 to Soriano, who's reached 15 homers by the All-Star break in 3 of his 4 Cubs seasons. He hits one toward the right field corner, slicing away from Hunter Pence, and that one's down and a fair ball. Here comes Marlon Byrd to third base. Stop sign there from Mike Quaddy on a double by Soriano with nobody out.
Wesley able to pitch around a 1-out double last inning. Now he's really in the soup. Walk, double, second and third, nobody out. There's the strength of Soriano. This pitch down and away a little bit. Waxman to the right field corner. Base hit, scores 2. Infield stays back. The good news is Cubs are down towards the bottom of the order, but they're pretty deep. Soto hitting in the 7th spot. He's having a real nice year. 14 bombs, hitting .286.
36 runs batted in for Giovanni Soto, who hit homers in each of his last 2 games against the Astros last week in Chicago. 23 doubles now for Soriano. That's ball 1 to Soto, the rookie of the year.
Yeah, I think the mindset for Wesley should be here. Well, I'm not going to pitch to try to prevent that run on third base. I'm just going to try to get an out. And hopefully I can get out of this inning allowing just the 1.
Soto takes it, and it's 2-0.
Obviously, ideally, you'd like to post a 0 every time you go out there. But, if you're thinking about preventing that run at third base, there's a tendency to pitch away from contact and do exactly what he's done, get himself into a hitter's count or maybe even walk the bases loaded.
Soto lines one left field corner. It's hooking, and it's a fair ball. That will score 2. Soto into second. 2-1 Cubs on the 2-run double by Soto, his 15th double of the year, giving him 38 runs batted in.
And Soto knows what to do when he's in that favorable count. 2 balls, no strikes, and he jumped all over it. Challenged him, looked like a fastball middle in a little bit. He gets it elevated, he knocks it into the seats. He'll have to settle for a 2-run double. That was a great replay of his swing. That's a guy who's just sitting dead red. That little leg kick and bat waggle, he's just getting ready to turn it loose.
He's at second for Ryan Theriot. Terrio's put together a 5-game hitting streak. Strike one to Theriot. 281 for Ryan. No homers. 20 runs batted in. Ryan played at LSU. Native of Baton Rouge. 30 years old now. He was on an NCAA championship team in 2000. He scored the game-winning run in the 9th in that NCAA championship game.
He's got a real nice off-field stroke. Michael Bourne shades him that way. Hunter Pence a little bit towards the line. This situation here, Theriot with the pitcher on deck, though, he's not thinking about just advancing this base runner. He's going to try to drive him in. It should be his mindset with Silva up next.
Cubs are 16 and 17 against left-handed starters.
Fox Tracks is brought to you by Jexa Energy.
Chases the curveball. Short hop play for Chris Johnson. 1 out. And now the pitcher Silva. Now Silva not only got shelled by the Astros and lasted just 1 inning, but the start before that was very rough for him too. So he's only gone 2 1/3 innings. His last 2 starts combined, allowing 11 runs.
Inning and a third in the start prior to the one against the Astros, allowed 6 runs, was ejected from that ball game.
0.71 average, 2 hits and 28 at bats, 5 sacrifice bunts for Silva. Here's strike one for Wesley Wright, who got his first major league win against the Cubs in Chicago in 08. And he is 7-7 in his career with an ERA of 5.10. Phillies won this afternoon at home, knocking off the Rockies 5-4.
I think Wesley's a guy that could pitch above the hands a little bit more than he does. And think back to that pitch he threw to strike out Ramirez in the first inning.
Breaking pitch makes it 0-2. Well, as a starting pitcher, he would be able, one would think, to learn a lot more about setting up hitters, JD, than the relief role he had for the last couple of years.
Yeah, and then the challenge too is what works at the AAA level doesn't always translate to the big league level.
Swing and a miss at a curve down and in that almost hit him, and that's a strikeout. Number 2.
That's the thing with Wesley. At times, the stuff just curveball times looks absolutely brilliant. And other times it'll float a little bit.
2 outs, and it's Tyler Colvin now. Well, things have indeed changed the makeup of the pitching staff with the injuries and demotions, with the Astros now having back-to-back left-handed starters in Wandy Rodriguez and Wesley Wright, who's thrown 39 pitches, and now 3 relievers in the bullpen from the left side. Tyler Colvin opened the game with a check swing grounder, and Wright threw him out. He taps the curve to Berkman. He tosses to the pitcher for the 3rd out. And the Cubs take the lead with 2 runs, 2 hits. They leave a man. It's 2-1 Chicago in the second.
Welcome back. Join the Astros for Faith and Family Night on Saturday. 6:05 game against the Brewers. After the game, testimony by Lance Berkman, a concert with Jars of Clay. Tickets starting at only $7. Astros.com will be the place to go for those tickets.
Big night on Saturday night with the Jeff Bagwell bobblehead also this weekend as the Brewers come into town. Jeff Keppinger leads it off. The Astros now trailing 2-1. Carlos Silva facing a second baseman with a .285 average, 4 homers, 34 driven in. Got in on him with a fastball, and Dave Clark skipped over that foul ball. Strike one. Keppinger went 3 for 8 in the Cincinnati series. He's hit .333 in July. Since he started hitting 6th, he's hit .389 in 6 games. No balls, 2 strikes for Silva. Silva with 69 major league wins has 68 losses and a 4.65 earned run average.
Carlos makes it through this inning. You could argue that he's on a roll.
Last year he was with Seattle. He pitched only 8 games. Had rotator cuff impingement. There's the baggy bobble.
They're using Steve Garvey's head for that.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Looks a little like Garv, doesn't it?
It looks a little like Garv.
You got to put a little chin hair. They should have got a chia pet, Jeff Bagwell, and he could grow his chin hair out. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
A chia baggy.
You might have come up with a great idea, JD.
Water his chin every day and watch it grow.
Yeah. 3-2. What was the year he had the longest goatee? 05?
I don't know.
No, I think it was 2000. He was on the media guide the first year of this ballpark.
And the fans were wearing the, remember they were selling them? People were showing up with the fake goatees on. He had that long. Kind of looked like he was going Amish or something.
Mm-hmm. Tap toward the left side. Castro charging and throws quickly. Getting Keppinger 1 out. Now let's go to Bart.
Hey, baseball fans, Chevy is a proud sponsor of youth baseball programs throughout the state of Texas. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy's commitment to youth league baseball programs, just visit ChevyTexasBaseball.com. Brownie, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. 2-1 Cubs. Chris Johnson's the batter.
This is a man that's been rolling.
Yes, he has been. Those kids know all about Chris Johnson by now. He's hit .315. Strike one. 3 homers, 17 runs batted in. If those kids were watching him hit the 2 homers at Wrigley Field, they were suitably impressed. And a hit to the left side for Chris Johnson. Continues the good work at the plate for CJ. 10-game hitting streak now for Johnson.
You can call me CJ, but you don't have to call me Johnson. Fastball down and in a little bit, and he just dropped the head on it. Getting accustomed to seeing him do that.
We've heard the name Luke Scott already from our friend who caught the foul ball and talked about the play he made on a Luke Scott foul ball. We'll hear it again as Chris Johnson joins Luke Scott with a 10-game hitting streak by an Astro rookie. Jason Castro with a .174 average, 2 homers, 4 runs batted in. Just took strike one.
Is that a record?
No, it's not a record, but it's the longest streak by an Astro rookie since Luke Scott did it in 06. Snap throw to first, and he did get back. And Josh Anderson and Hunter Pence had 9-game hitting streaks as rookies.
Left-handed hitter in the box, inside fastball. Catcher's always thinking about taking a shot at a base runner down there at first. Using that hitter in the box as a screen.
Bat gets away from Castro. Winds up behind him. 1-2 to Jason. Wesley Wright on deck. Castro had a hit off Silva in Chicago. Silva was out of that game in a whirlwind.
Well, he should be well rested. He's thrown just 81 pitches in his last 2 starts combined. coming on the heels of a pretty good stretch of quality work.
Yeah. I find that sometimes when a starting pitcher is really piling up innings, going 7, 8, 9 innings for 8, 9, 10 starts in a row, sometimes it might not be all a bad thing to get shelled early, get out of the game, and regroup.
Yeah. It's not anything you really hope for, but it's fairly typical to see it happen. You go out there, if you've thrown a lot of pitches in consecutive starts, and you've done it for quite a while, you're apt to lose a little zip, lose a little life in that arm, and then the hitters will catch up to you and knock you around a little bit. And that's the time when a manager, I think, has got to be, okay, let's get him out early. Guy's struggling, let's get him out, get him into the clubhouse with a lice on the shoulder, and let him have an easy night of it and regroup for the next one.
3-2 pitch, 1 out. Johnson at first going. Swing and a miss. Soto's throw drifts and hits him. And he's safe with a stolen base. And Castro went down on that one. Starlin Castro gets up slowly as Johnson gets his second steal of the year on the strikeout by Jason Castro.
No way they're going to throw him out with that kind of jump. He was flying. Changeup aided his cause for sure. Soto trying to be quick. Pretty ugly throw. Wow.
That sailed on him big time.
And we talk a lot about a pitcher's mechanics flying open. That was a great example of the catcher flying open.
Wesley Wright. With a line drive, left center field. Marlon Byrd going for it. Byrd makes the catch. And Wesley Wright almost tied the ball game. Looked like an extra base hit off the bat, but it's no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. And 2-1 Cubs after 2. July 26, 1968, Jim Wynn becomes the first player in franchise history to reach 100 homers. He does so with a 3-run blast in the 8th off Frank Lindsay to drop San Francisco 4-1. And hopefully our friend Charlie Taylor is watching tonight. He's back in town from Kentucky for a checkup at MD Anderson. Jim Wynn was out in the Crawford boxes Saturday night doing Astros Live. Always good to see him. Starlin Castro leads it off in the 3rd. He doubled to right center in the 1st. And there's ball 1 to him. Cubs have 3 hits. They've all been doubles. Chris Johnson is even with the bag at 3rd. It's a 2-ball, no strike count. 25-year-old Wesley Wright from Montgomery, Alabama.
The pride of Grady, Alabama, population 21-60.
21-60. Popped up. Cappinger underneath. I wonder if there's a catcher in that population who would catch him in his off-season workouts. Let's go to Greg Lucas.
I got a couple of things to point out. First of all, don't forget Wednesday, JD and Brownie in the pregame show will take email questions. So if you got some good baseball emails, you can, the easiest way to get to us is foxsportshouston@yahoo.com, or you can click on through the website. Also, I want to say hello to Clarence Lane up in Wichita Falls. He's watching tonight. He actually called me at home today. He's been an Astro fan forever, longtime school custodian, once bought tickets and got a trip to come all the way from Wichita Falls to Houston by collecting old cans and turning them in for the money. He's a dedicated fan, and he's still with us and watching tonight. So thank you, Clarence, for being so loyal. Back to you guys.
That's a long trip for Clarence to make.
Sure
Wichita
is.
Falls is not exactly an hour from here.
Not at all.
That's a lot of cans.
A lot of cans. 2-0 to D. Lee from Wesley Wright. And he cranks one to left center field. Carlos Lee will play it off the wall. Derek Lee has another double. He's been a doubles machine against the Astros these last few games. 19th two-base hit of the year.
4 hits, all doubles so far for the Cubs. I don't know if it's a record, but it's awfully close.
Let's see, he had 3 doubles in the 3-game series in Chicago. Now he's aboard for Aramis Ramirez. That's weird that the first 4 hits in a game by a team would all be doubles. Ramirez struck out in the first.
They've really been slugging since the break. They've really been swinging the bats well. And Wesley's, he's more of a fly ball pitcher, so they're going to get the ball in the air against him.
Ball 1 to Ramirez. Cubs are averaging 6.4 runs per game since the All-Star break. They're hitting .277 in July. They have 19 homers since the break. That leads the majors. And their on-base average is .373.
And in the batter's box right now is the guy who's leading the way.
2-0 to Aramis Ramirez.
Again, another hitter's count. And that's the thing, you get into a tough cycle as a pitcher. You run into some hot hitters. They're swinging it well, so you want to be cautious. So you nibble a little bit, and the next thing you know, you're 2-0 on all these dangerous hitters. You feel like you have to come in, and then you're really asking for trouble. And it's a good neutralizer there when you can drop that breaking ball in when the hitter's likely sitting on a fastball.
Ramirez on a tear.
I think one of 2 things has to happen. One, you've got to start being more aggressive early to try to get the jump on these hitters. Or 2, you just have to commit to that cautious approach and be willing not to give in. And maybe walk a dangerous hitter to get to a lesser hitter. Most pitching coaches would prefer the former to the latter of those 2 strategies.
Ramirez.
I like his fastball up there above the hands. I think it would be a good weapon for him. I think he's the kind of guy who can go down and away with a fastball, a first pitch breaking ball. You can feel like get me over. It's almost like a freebie. Strike 1, and then extend up above the hands.
You were known to do that a few times.
Yeah, that's why it's a style of pitching I'm familiar with, and I just think his game sets up that way. I never had a curveball like that. He's got a really good curveball. So you can see a little Wandy in his approach. You can see where he could morph into kind of a Wandy style. Wandy pitches. He doesn't throw a lot of pitches up there, but Wandy can pitch above the hands with a sneaky fastball. A little bit of a runner in on the right-handed hitter's knuckles.
Wandy got Miguel Cairo on some high fastballs yesterday. Line into center field. Lee around third. Stop sign there as Bourne gets it back into Sanchez. On a single by Ramirez. 7-game hitting streak now for Ramirez. First and third, 1 out for Marlon Byrd.
Ramirez clearly better down than up. He was swinging through the high fastball, but that pitch down. He was able to center it pretty well. We talk a lot about pitchers You want to be above or below hitting speed. Average fastball, 90, 91 miles an hour. If you can bust it up there at 95 consistently, that's good. And some guys have success, like a Jamie Moyer type, who throws below hitting speed. And I think the same thing, too, with the planes. You know, most guys like the ball a little bit above the knees, maybe mid-thigh, so you can get some sink down below the knees or go up above the hands.
Strike to Marlon Byrd. He walked and scored in the second. Joe Blanton won for the Phillies today, beating Colorado 5-4. Only Blanton's 4th win of the year. Brad Lidge got his 10th save, although he allowed 2 runs in 1 inning. Jason Hamill lost it for the Rockies.
4-game sweep for the Phils over the Rockies.
Well, now there are, of course, more and more rumors circulating about that Philadelphia club. Will the Phillies take on talent? Will they trade right fielder Jason Worth to clear salary room to take on pitching? Those are some of the questions. And one article today pointed out, JD, that Worth is really the strong right-handed hitter in that lineup. A lineup with a lot of lefty hitters, Raul Ibanez, and Howard, and Chase Utley when he's in there, so maybe they don't want to deal a guy like Worth, who has not hit a homer in the last month, but has been hitting well the last couple of weeks.
Well, they got the phenom down in the minor leagues. Dominic Brown, I guess, would be the guy who would come and take his place.
He's a left-handed hitter.
Yeah, so that doesn't really help that department.
Grounded. Berkman diving. Throws on one hop of Sanchez. As Lee comes home with run number 3, they get the force out for out number 2. And Bird picks up his 45th run batted in.
Yeah, inside out swing here by Bird. He's taking a shot at that hole on the right side, and Lance has to make that throw from his knees. And you know, it looked like he might have had a shot at Derek Lee at home, but he would have had to do a whole lot of adjusting to get himself into position to make the throw home. And by the time he either got to his feet or turned and tried to make the throw home from his knees, probably would not have had a play. I think this was his only option.
Cubs lead 3-1 as the throw goes over on Bird. There's 4 steals in 5 attempts. Soriano's the batter. Speaking of the Phillies and their position, Charlie Kerfeld has been here for 4 or 5 days now scouting for the Phils.
I think it's because Charlie really likes the fried chicken in the press dining room.
Well,
he comes back time and time again.
Well, a lot of folks like that fried chicken.
Charlie getting on the charter back in the day and pulling a piece of fried chicken out of his suit coat pocket.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that's why every time he sees me, he goes, hey, chicken a pock. Hey, chick pock. Charlie had his own language.
Yes, he did. 2 balls, no strikes. And he wore that a Jetsons t-shirt.
Big Chaz.
He had his own style.
But the funny thing is, Charlie was, when he played here, he kind of had this clownish personality, but very well respected baseball guy.
Yeah. And now
he knows his stuff.
It's one of the key guys for the Phillies Brain Trust. Ruben Amaro Jr., the general manager.
That was similar position with Seattle, and it's legit too. I mean, Charlie, he really knows his stuff. And the good thing about Charlie, he hasn't lost the goofy side either.
No,
he's fun.
Remember the year that he couldn't agree on a contract, and he really didn't have any kind of power at all, except to take what the club gave him. So he wanted boxes of Jell-O thrown in.
Yeah, because he wanted to make more than me.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, we were both second-year players, and, just for fun. He said, I got to make more than Deshays. And they gave us the same dollar contract, but they threw in 37 boxes of Jell-O for Charlie.
Well,
because that was his uniform.
He looks very studious right now. Strike to Soriano, 3-2. And of course, Dan Herron traded yesterday by Arizona to the Angels. So one of the big chips has already been moved on the trade block.
Dan Herron's going to pitch tonight for the Angels against the Red Sox.
Interesting.
Get a new toy, you might as well play with it.
3-2, 2 outs. Bird ready to run. And it's lined to the left field corner. Bird comes to third base. Mike Quaddy takes a look at Carlos Lee, sends him home. Bird around third, coming to the plate to make it 4-1.
Imagine that, a double.
Soriano gets his second two-base hit of the game, 24th of the year, and his 54th run batted in.
Did Marlon Byrd touch third base is the question.
He did.
Did he?
5 doubles for the Cubs.
And this time it's a curveball and it stays up in the zone. Yeah, looks like you get the inside corner.
Step on top of it, though. Here's strike one to Soto. Soto drove in a couple with his double in the second inning.
And that's the other thing when you look at Wesley. Sometimes his curveball, and maybe it's by design, maybe he's trying to get it in there more, but you know, he throws one that's more of a sweeper, and then one has more downward, like a 12-6, not a true 12-6, but more of a downward breaking curveball. I think that one's a better pitch. The other one spends more time in the strike zone.
Good point. 1-1 to Soto. 08 was his Rookie of the Year season.
Dropped off dramatically last year. Really struggled and having a nice bounce back season in 2010. So they're pretty well set there, the Cubs are, moving forward. You know, we're talking about Lee possibly being traded, and he's going to be a free agent. They'll be pretty comfortable now with Colvin and Castro and this guy Soto behind the plate. A lot of talk about Ryan Terrio's future in Chicago. He may be moved.
2 balls, 2 strikes. They have some burdensome contracts. Right now, the Carlos Zambrano deal looks burdensome. Alfonso Soriano.
Carlos issued a public apology yesterday or today, and then we'll do again in Colorado. The Cubs go to Denver after this series, and Zambrano's going to join them there. Apparently, he's going to address his teammates. He went through a little anger management program.
Pitched a couple of innings in relief against Round Rock over the weekend. Now that last curveball they right through, I think that was the one you were talking about. More of a downward tilt to it.
Yeah, and you know there's nothing wrong with the other one. You just can't leave the other one in the strike zone. And make sure you get down towards that back foot.
Chris Carpenter was just his usual irascible self last night pitching against the Cubs, and he was struggling with his curveball.
Was he cantankerous last night?
Yeah,
was
he was.
Barking at people?
Yeah, he was. He's becoming very much known for that.
He's having a good year. He's not having the year he had last year. Still pitching pretty well.
Yes, he is.
It seems to be becoming as easy for him.
Kept his club in the game. Things worked out in extra innings for the Cardinals. Joe Strauss had an article today about the Astros and Cardinals and a potential trade in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Carlos Lee in left takes care of the third out. And the Cubs come up with 2 in the third inning. On 3 hits, they leave a man, and their lead stretches to 4-1. are decided by 1 or 2 runs have gone to the Astros.
Millsy's just out managing Lou, that's all.
Good crowd here. We always see a lot of Cubs fans. The Cubbies are at Minute Maid Park. Bottom of the third, it's Michael Bourne against Carlos Silva. Michael opened the Astros first with a double to right and scored. And puts down a bunt that goes foul for strike 1. So all kinds of articles to read, of course, and online and in the newspapers and St. Louis Post-Dispatch, keeping its fans in St. Louis updated on the Roy Oswalt trade talks to the Cardinals. And Joe Strauss wrote today that it seems a lot less a possibility now that Roy will be traded to the Cardinals. There have been a couple of snags which have arisen. One apparently is that the Cardinals want the Astros to pick up part of the salary. And another is that the Astros are reluctant to deal Roy to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a small percentage that was going to happen anyway. But you don't know.
2 balls and a strike. So there is his future up in the air as he is scheduled to pitch Friday here against Milwaukee.
Did Joe say who gave him the details of those talks?
He did not. But you imagine what a tremendous swing there could be in this division if the Cardinals got Oswalt and the Reds did nothing. Or if the Cardinals got Oswalt and the Reds picked up Fausto Carmona. Or if the Reds got Carmona and the Cardinals did nothing. They're only, well, they're neck and neck, as you see. Half game apart. Slap to third base. Aramis Ramirez. 1 out. Trade deadline at mid-afternoon on Saturday for non-waiver deals. You can imagine in your mind some possible complications too, with Roy pitching Friday night and the trade deadline Saturday afternoon. What if there's a deal coming down Friday afternoon and they have to get Roy's approval and he's to pitch Friday night? Angel Sanchez grounded out earlier.
Pitch somebody else.
Could happen. It's strike 1. A lot of general managers feel that they get their best deal by waiting until the deadline. They're saying deadlines drive deals. But yet we've seen Cliff Lee traded several days ago, and then Dan Herron traded yesterday too. Yankees are thought to be shopping. And according to some stories today, it's now the Phillies and the Yankees who are possibly the front runners in the Roy Oswalt talks. Two balls, 2 strikes. So a lot in the mix for a lot of different major league clubs. And that involves Ted Lilly, of course, as we mentioned, with the Cubs. New York teams are thought to be interested in Lilly. 3-2. He is headed for free agency at the end of this season. So there could be the oddity of Lilly pitching for, we'll say, the Mets or the Yankees for the rest of the year, and then re-signing with the Cubs for next year. Who knows?
I like that move. This guy's trying to trade his vanilla for a scoop of chocolate.
Oh, don't flip it. It's going to get messy in that aisle. I think his sister is going to be very unhappy with him if she's paying attention at all, which she does not appear to be at the moment.
It's in a kind of catatonic state, trying her, or whatever that is. Ice cream.
Grounded wide of third base, still 3-2.
Here we go. There we go.
He's
going to launch it. Open your mouth. Getting ready for a game show.
The game within a game. And now the fourth will break. Fly ball to center field. Marlon Byrd comes in. Castro is called off by Byrd. And it's 2 outs for Silva. You may have just gotten her.
Got her in the eye. She's a good sport.
There's a replay.
Take a shot.
Since we missed it live.
Oh my. He's cracking up and he said, I can't believe she fell for that.
We have to replay this because remember a couple of weeks ago that kid was eating that 4-foot tall ice cream cone and we never showed the conclusion of it.
Yeah.
It got chopped down to half the size. Berkman with a little roller to third base. Barehanded, Ramirez throwing. Infield hit for Berkman. He's 2 for 2.
Well, Lance was not particularly pleased with his first base hit. You can tell by his body language down at first base, and he's not going to be thrilled about this one either. But bottom line, he's been struggling, so any 2 hits are good. Yeah, there you go. A little wow for Jerry Davis.
That'll improve anybody's mood.
Yeah. So, you know, running straight ahead, he's fine. We talked earlier about his legs being an issue for him in the batter's box because it's lateral movement, the push-off. I think that bothers him both defensively and in the batter's box. Running straight ahead, he doesn't seem to have any real problems.
Foul ball, Hunter Pence, strike 1. Hunter struck out in the first inning. He had an interesting remark on one of the interviews in the clubhouse yesterday about working with Jeff Bagwell, and he said, yeah, we're making some minor changes. And he was asked by whoever did the interview, well, what kinds of changes are we talking about? And then it got kind of interesting. He lunges at the changeup 0-2 because, as you know, Hunter has been known for just hitting and hitting and hitting. And just a tireless worker in the cage. And many have felt over the years that he works too hard. And it seems to be swinging in that direction that he's realizing that. Because he said, what we're working on now is when we get a good swing going, just quit at that point. But Silva can produce some ugly swings with that changeup. And it's strikeout number 3. After 3, 4-1 Cubs.
This series at 105, and on that day you need to take advantage of the 9-inning lunch break presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Available for all weekday afternoon home games. You get a field box ticket plus $20 in food and beverage vouchers for just $40. Go to Astros.com to get those tickets and enjoy that 9-inning lunch break. Guys, back to you.
Good lunch break. Thank you, Bart. It's 4-1. The Cubs lead it. They bat in the 4th inning with Ryan Theriot. He grounded out to third earlier. Strike 1 for Wesley Wright. Ryan Moeller not ready to return to the Astros rotation yet. The groin problem continues to be with him. Bouncer over the mound. Sanchez cuts across. Spins. Safe at first. Theriot's aboard with an infield hit.
Yeah, once he had to do that little 360 move to kind of right himself to make the throw, there's no way they're going to get Ryan Theriot. Been able to unload As is, he was moving across the infield, they might have been able to get him. He stretches out for it and just took a couple of steps to turn around and get pointed in the right direction.
Carlos Silva's up in a bunting situation now. Bunts it back toward the mound. Johnson takes a long look at second, decides to take the out at first to Keppinger, and the sacrifice from 5-4 gets Theriot to second. Tyler Colvin will follow. Yankees are leading 3-2 at Cleveland. They just got 2 in the top of the 8th against the Tribe. Nick Swisher hit his 18th homer tonight. Curtis Granderson number 10. Yankees have won 3 of their 4 with Cleveland this year. They have a 3-game lead in the AL East over Tampa Bay. Tyler Colvin has grounded out both times tonight. There's strike 1 to him. Jabba Chamberlain really struggling with the Yankees.
Nice.
0-2.
Needs to have a shutdown inning here. 2 in the second, 2 in the third. Been working a lot from the stretch. 73 pitches already for Wesley. And there's action in the Astros bullpen.
Nelson Figueroa is working. There's a strikeout of Colvin. That's number 3.
Well, there's that high fastball again. Well placed inside part of the plate. Just ties him up. Chews him up, spits him out, sends him back to the dugout.
A meat grinder fastball. Cute little youngster. The batter is Castro. He doubled in the first and he popped up in the third. Castro's driven in runs in 5 games in a row. Toronto Blue Jays are 9-0 against the Orioles this season, and they are leading 8-4 at home against Baltimore tonight after 7.
Baltimore really making a push for that first overall pick in next year's draft. 31-67, 2-8 in their last 10.
31-67. Strike 1. Let's see. That is a .316 winning percentage.
The Pirates are 34-64. Diamondbacks 37-62. Seattle 39-60. Those are the sub 40 winning clubs, and your Astros at 40-58.
One ball, one strike. The Cubs will be seeking a new manager next year. Many names have surfaced as possibilities.
You know, it could be fun in the offseason. You know, Bobby Cox is retiring. Luke Piniella is retiring. Tony La Russa's contract expires. Joe Girardi's contract expires in New York. Be a pretty good little merry-go-round. Joe Torre not sure what he's going to do next year.
The Orioles looking for a manager. Swing and a miss, and there's that high heater again. 1-2 to Castro.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, you have to. With Wesley Wright, he's still a young pitcher who's used almost exclusively in relief in his major league career. So it may take him a while to kind of find his game at the big league level. What works, what doesn't work.
He might get a while. Hard to say that right now. Fly ball to right center. Hunter Pence calling. And in the 4th, it's no runs a hit and a man stranded. 4-1 Cubs in the 4th. Cubs lead at 4-1. The Astros come up seeking a rally against Carlos Silva in the last of the 4th inning with Lee, Keppinger, and Johnson due to bat. And cotton candy is available right there. Carlos Lee hit the fly ball to right near the line. Tyler Colvin reached across his body on the run, made a good catch. The man aboard to end the first. This one outside the right field line. Reached the seats.
A lot of soft stuff early. Last at bat for Carlos against Carlos. This time he starts with a heater, and Carlos Lee a little bit tardy on it.
Takes that Silva pitch, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. It's quite a trade. The Cubs wanted to unload Milton Bradley, and they did so for this pitcher. Tap foul on the changeup. We've seen a lot of that pitch, and it's been extremely effective for Silva tonight.
Yeah, that's what his game is all about, is upsetting your timing. Front foot, back foot, not so much in and out, but that change of speeds. And he's got his good changeup working, makes that 91-mile-an-hour heater that much more effective.
There it was, but Carlos took it for ball 2. Silva came into the big leagues with the Phillies in 2002 and got his first major league win in relief against the Astros. He retired Richard Hidalgo with a couple of men on in the 7th inning. Starlin Castro loads up and throws out Lee. 1 out.
Time now for our Hanes Comfort Zone. I know if you're wearing your Hanes, you're comfortable, and I'm going to show you some people that are really comfortable at the ballpark.
Have we surveyed them to see if they're wearing their Hanes?
We're just going to assume that they are, judging by how comfortable they look.
They look really comfortable, in fact. A lot of comfortable-looking people there.
It's hot and humid outdoors, but we've got air-conditioned comfort here at Minute Maid Park.
Jeff Keppinger takes strike 1.
Now, there are people up on the top of Union Station across the way tonight. It's probably not quite as comfortable.
Oh, no. Taps the change up to second. Terrio hits it over to Lee. 2 down.
Come on in, folks. We got plenty of room. Come on in, enjoy the ball game.
Yeah, they could do that. It was really uncomfortable outside. Felt like it was going to rain any minute. Finally, it did. Like a swamp. Yeah. Chris Johnson extended his hitting streak to 10 games with that single to left in the 2nd inning. Matt Garza of Tampa Bay has a no-hitter through 7 tonight and leads Detroit 4-0 at Tampa Bay. About time for another no-hitter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a while, and he certainly has no-hit stuff.
There's ball 1. Rays are looking good, leading the wild card race by 5 games over Boston at the moment. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tampa Bay 21 games over 500 with a .608 winning percentage. One and 2 to CJ.
One of the better breaking balls. He's throwing a little slider, sliding off the outside corner. Always working a little game of a hangman at the ballpark.
Yeah. Mr. offering his arm as a tablet. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jose Bautista, the major league leader in homers, belted his 28th tonight for the Blue Jays. Luke Scott hit number 17 for Baltimore. Johnson works the count full. He has only 3 walks this season. That kid knows more about the internet than the 2 of us put together.
About that, huh? We're going to Urban Spoon. Where can I get some good fries after the game? So not the kind of guy who you can count on giving in. 3-2 there, throws a nice changeup. As a matter of fact, The changeup has been his most effective weapon here tonight. It's been the difference in this game for Silva this time versus last time. Last time he just wasn't able to establish anything. The Astros ambushed him in the first inning, and that was all she wrote.
Grounded third on 2 hops for Ramirez. Lee stretches fourth, 3 ground ball outs, takes Silva through the fourth with a 4-1 Cubs lead. By AT&T. By your Texas Ford dealers. By TxDOT. Want to win a fuel-saving hybrid? It's easy to enter at drivecleanacrosstexas.org. And by Gullo Ford and Gullo Toyota.
Oh, baby.
Good eats at the ballpark tonight. 4-1 Cubs. They've out hit the Astros 7-4. Derek Lee lines one on a short hop to Jeff Keppinger. 1 pitch, 1 out for Wesley Wright in the 5th. He's due up second in the bottom half. Well, Lee, who has one of the Cubs' 5 doubles in this game, goes down, and it's Aramis Ramirez next. Matt Garza has 2 outs in the 8th inning with a no-hitter intact, 4-0 over Detroit. Garza has never beaten Detroit. 0-4 with a 5.85 ERA and 6 starts against the Tigers before tonight. Ball 1 to Ramirez.
Tigers a banged up bunch. Carlos Guillen, Brandon Inge, Magglio Ordonez, all on the disabled list.
Yeah. Liner to center field. Ramirez is right on that one for hit number 2 for him tonight.
Sharp single to center last time up on a little fastball. Time looked like a breaking pitch. Juan De Jesus, the first base coach for the Cubs there, in his ear. De Jesus, a very good major league player for a good long while.
He sure was. Primarily a shortstop. Nelson Figueroa has been at it for some time in the bullpen. Marlon Byrd walked and scored in the 2nd. He reached on a force play and scored in the 3rd. Cincinnati and Bronson Arroyo are at Milwaukee, tied 2-2 after 5 against Randy Wolf. Strike one. Did you see what Adam Dunn did?
Yes, I did.
That was great. By the way, Garza got the final out in the 8th, so he has a no-hitter through 8 against Detroit now. Adam Dunn was in uniform recently, not playing. Bob Euchre's his old longtime fishing buddy. He made a visit to the Milwaukee booth to say hello to you. In uniform, that doesn't happen very often. He said they can find me if they want to. I just had to see my man. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You can't find him for that.
No.
Oh, he went out and hung out for a couple innings. Just want him to say hey.
Yeah, it was the 2nd inning, maybe. Ricky Weeks hit his 21st homer tonight.
He might be the best leadoff hitter in the league.
He might be. He's hit several leadoff homers. This one tonight came in the 3rd inning off Bronson Arroyo. And let's see who's playing third. Scott Rowland is back in the lineup for the Reds after missing 9 games. Three balls, 1 strike. Jason Castro working with Wesley Wright, who's thrown 85 pitches so far. Castro leads off the bottom of the inning. Foul back by Bird, and it's a full count to Marlin. Cubs have hit 30 homers in the month of July. That's tied for 3rd best in the majors. Fouled away. Their new owner, Tom Ricketts, was a big bleacher bum fan in the Ryne Sandberg era. And some think that that might give Sandberg a leg up on becoming the next Cubs manager. He's at AAA Iowa right now. Managed in the minors for about 4 or 5 years. Sandberg was not very vocal as a player. And he's been thrown out of a lot more games, we understand, this year than he ever has before as a manager. And that was not his M.O. in previous managerial seasons. Hardly ever got tossed out of a game. This year he's been thrown out about 10 times.
Well, he's a little cranky. 4th year in the minor leagues. So. And man, for a guy like Sandberg with his resume as a player, and as important as he is to the Cubs, you could see where he might have thought, hey, look, I'm Ryne Sandberg, make me your bench coach, and 2 years later I'll be your manager. But he said, no, I want to learn how to manage. He went down to the minor leagues, worked his way up through the system, and he at least claims he's ready. He did interviews right after Lou decided to retire, and Sandberg was quoted saying, I'm ready to go. I paid my dues. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Hunter Pence in right. Makes the catch, 2 outs as Bird is retired. But he'll get strong consideration, it seems. Freddie Gonzalez, recently dismissed by Florida, apparently is a candidate. Bobby Valentine has said he would be interested. Don't know if he's a candidate or not. Bob Brenly, next door in the Cubs television booth, would be a candidate for that job, and many others. Maybe somebody we don't have any idea about.
Bench coach Alan Trammell, third base coach Mike Quaddy. I would imagine a lot of guys would put a call in to express interest. Mm-hmm. That's a nice high-profile job there. Plus, you get nights off with all those day games at Wrigley.
Soriano with strike 1. He has a pair of doubles and an RBI tonight.
Phil Garner might be intrigued by that job.
Ooh, it's a great job.
Except for it ages everybody about 20 years in 2 years.
Soriano apparently will be inherited by the next Cubs skipper. He signed an 8-year deal after the 07 season. No balls, 2 strikes. Alfonso coming to the majors with the Yankees. Then he moved along in a trade to Texas, and another deal sent him to Washington.
Well, he's a good player. He's got his shortcomings, especially defensively, but he's a good player. No doubt about it. Power, speed combination.
Up and in.
I made that comment about Ricky Weeks maybe being the best leadoff hitter in the league. And maybe Rafael Furcal this year.
Well,
Carl hitting .332 with an on-base percentage of .393, .513 slugging. And Dodger Stadium, not exactly a hitter's ballpark.
Not at all. Night games especially. Soriano, to show off his talents, hit 46 homers in 06 with Washington in a big ballpark. Swing and a miss with a runner going. Pitch in the dirt. Castro throws down to Berkman to complete the strikeout from 2-3. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man left. Wesley Wright comes in. Chicago leads it 4-1. Drink matches her dress. There's strike 1 for Silva with the 4-1 lead. He'll work to the 8-9-1 hitters here in the Astros 5th inning.
And Silva doing a nice job keeping the Astro hitters off balance so far tonight. Fastball changeup combination, occasional breaking pitch, but it's been mostly fastball changeup. Big burly right-hander. It's a beautiful thing about baseball. There's little tiny guys and there's big burly guys.
Yeah. We have a size mismatch tonight in the starting pitchers. Makes it fun. 1 and 2.
Yeah, Carlos got about 50 pounds on Wesley at least. It's all right.
Wesley was able to hang in for 5 innings, giving up 8 hits, 4 runs, walking 1, fanning 4, assuming that he's leaving for this pinch hitter who's on deck for Leeds. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Brian Moeller, as we mentioned, not really allowed to do very much right now with that groin issue, so the Astros are going to have to fill in for a while in the rotation. Then who knows about any deals that might be made.
I don't know what the Astros thinking is long term on Wesley Wright. If they think he has a chance to be a starting pitcher for them in the future, then I would give him a number of starts between now and the end of the year. And again, I don't know what their thinking is, if they see him more as a bullpen guy or.
Castro grounds and Silva gloves it. 1 out. Pedro Feliz will pinch hit now for Wesley Wright. Feliz homered on Wednesday at Chicago. That snapped an 0 for 14 with his 4th home run of the year. And that was a pinch hit homer, a very big one as the Astros came back. He has only 2 hits and 25 at bats in July. 1 for 11 pinch hitting.
Well, if BP means anything, he was really swinging it well in BP.
Okay.
I guess that's kind of like I was really hitting it well on the range before that string of triple bogeys.
Sometimes you're better off not leaving the range. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wesley Wright in 5 innings, allowing 8 hits, 4 runs, walked 1, fanned 4. And he also swung the bat well, the line out to center field in the 2nd inning. 2 balls and a strike.
Timing is so important in this game. If Wesley had made his first 2 major league starts against the Cubs back-to-back in June or May, he might have shut him down. But they're really swinging the bats well right now.
Matt Garza got the first out of the 9th with a no-hitter going. Changeup makes it 2 balls, 2 strikes. Feliz is 2 for 6 in his career with an RBI against Silva. He takes the changeup for strike 3 call. That's the 4th strikeout for Silva.
He's got it going on tonight. Watch the movement on this pitch as it floats back to the outside corner.
It's a dandy pitch. Michael Bourne doubled and scored in the Astros first. He bounced out in the 3rd inning to third base. He gets a fastball at 92, and it's strike 1.
Astros might want to contemplate stepping out of the batter's box a little bit and taking some time on Silva now, because he is in a real nice rhythm.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The Rays are opening a season high 11-game homestand tonight, and they are doing it in style with Garza. 1-2. Tigers have lost 6 in a row on the road. They've been outscored during those games 37-13. And have no hits with 1 out in the 9th. Line shot right field. Bourne with his 2nd hit of the evening gets something going with 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
Trying to sneak this piece of cheese by Michael inside, and Michael able to pull his hands in and drill it to right field.
Hit number 5 for the Astros. Angel Sanchez follows. He's grounded out and hit a fly ball to center. And this fly ball heads for right field, maybe foul. Derek Lee, second baseman Terrio slides, can't catch it. Meanwhile, Garza got out number 2 in the 9th, leading 5-0 in a no-hit bid for Tampa Bay.
I think Terrio got crossed up a little bit there. Not only did he have to worry about the ball and the wall, then he sees Derek Lee out of the corner of his eye, and he had a lot of things going on there, and he came up short. He had room to make that play. Not an easy play.
Bourne attracts a throw to first. Lance Berkman on deck. Fans in Tampa Bay, of course, on their feet right now with a 1-1 count on the hitter for Detroit. And this should be a no-hitter. A fly ball to right field ends it. A no-hitter from Matt Garza of Tampa Bay. 5-0 win over Detroit. Pitch out, Bourne not going.
Well, how many is that this year?
I think it's 5.
Record is 7, I believe. Okay. Both in 1990 and 1991.
That's the first no-hitter in Rays history. Sanchez started the bat and he stopped it. The appeal goes to first. No swing. The ruling there by Jerry Davis. 2-1.
Something about that Tampa Bay club, because they've been no hit twice. Yeah. Once last year, once this.
The Tigers were only 2 behind front-running Chicago when play started tonight in the AL Central. 2-2 now to Sanchez. Silva's thrown 86 pitches. Garza goes to 11-5 with the win over Max Scherzer. He's 7-8. Carl Crawford hit his 12th homer. Matt Joyce number 3 for the Rays. Bourne goes. Throw from Soto high and late. Bourne steals his 31st of the year. And it counts 3-2 now on Sanchez.
You know, and Silva throws so many changeups. That's a tough pitch for a catcher to try to throw anybody out on, especially a guy like Michael Bourne. Off-speed pitch. And his throw last time was errant. This time it's a little better on the bag, a little high, but it's really difficult to get Bourne.
And a walk to Sanchez brings up Lance Berkman now with 2 on. First walk of the night for Silva. Shaking his head as the catcher Soto comes out. Bourne stole, then Sanchez walked. Now Berkman 2 for 2. He drove in a run in the first. Chance for the Astros to really strike a blow here against Silva. Silva came into this game 6th in the National League in the percentage of strikes thrown, 67.4% of the time. And he just had his first walk. Inside to Berkman, ball 1. Some have suggested that looking at his build, he may not be in very good shape, and he might be doing a fade here in the second half of the season.
Mickey Lolich didn't fade.
No, he didn't. Bouncer to Castro. Castro throws to Lee. No runs, a hit, 2 men stranded through 5. It's 4-1 Cubs. Figueroa, he just put on a Houston uniform a few days ago. He already pitched twice over the weekend, Friday and Saturday against Cincinnati, a total of 3 scoreless innings in those 2 games, JD.
Overall this year, 15 games at the major league level. And those 2 with the Astros, 2 innings on Saturday, 1 hit, no runs. Figueroa, 36 years of age. Been around the big league scene for a number of years now. First came up with Arizona back in 2000. Traded to the Phillies in a Kurt Schilling deal.
Giovanni Soto gets a first pitch fastball over the corner for strike 1. Soto ripped a 2-run double in the second. He's 1 for 2. Terrio and Silva to follow in the Cubs' 6th.
Best pitch, probably a curveball.
Sanchez handles out number 1. There's that Kurt Schilling trade to Arizona in 2000 that you talked about.
Well, this is the anniversary of that deal. How about that?
Yeah. Ryan Theriot had the infield hit in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2. Figueroa, a waiver claim by the Astros from the Phillies. Cubs have a reliever warming up in their bullpen, Berg. Theriot 1 for 2, and then the pitcher spot coming up, but the pitcher is not in the on-deck circle. Instead, it's Mike Fontenot. It's 1-1.
Andrew Kashner, the young right-hander from Conroe in TCU, who's doing very good work for the Cubs, working out of the bullpen. Probably not available. He's been sick.
No.
Flew in on his own. He's in the club today.
He pitched Saturday, didn't pitch in the extra inning game last night. He has really been impressive, JD.
Yeah, I imagine there's a pretty good group of family and friends here today.
To left field, Carlos heading back, and this one reaches the seats. Home run Theriot, his first of the year, to make it 5-1 Cubs.
Ryan Theriot, more of a singles hitter, although he went through a little stretch last year. He hit 5 or 6 home runs in a pretty short period of time. And picked on a hanging breaking ball. I wouldn't be surprised if he got the silent treatment in that Cubs dugout. Hanging, hit me slider. Be obliged.
The Cubs get the first long ball of the night. Mike Fontenot, the pinch hitter for Silva, looks at ball 1. Fontenot played alongside Theriot at LSU as they greet Ryan, the Riot. That's a foul ball back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cubs hitting their 103rd long ball of the year.
Well, they did. Just kind of hanging out.
No love for a while. And then they come around.
It never gets old.
Fouled away by Fontenot. Fontenot, a 287 hitter, has 1 homer, 18 runs batted in. He's had 157 at bats. And 5 for 21 with a homer, pinch hitting with 6 runs batted in those assignments. Silva threw 90 pitches. Figueroa delivers. And it's a full count. 5 innings for Silva. And he could be the winning pitcher. He could be a 10-game winner if he gets this one tonight. Gave up 5 hits and 1 run. Fouled away. Had 1 walk and he struck out 4. And Silva had the change up working tonight.
Yeah. I'm curious as to why he's coming out of his game.
Maybe he has a touch or something. Ground ball foul. Keeps the count full on Fontenot.
Maybe they're showcasing him. That's good enough. Scouts had to like that.
Isn't it funny? About this time of year, we start thinking up all kinds of reasons for things involving trades. That looked good, and he was. Strike 3 call. 2 outs. It's the Coors Light 6th inning. Time now for the Coors Light freeze cam, showing you Wesley Wright's pitch location. Bats for the 4th time. He's grounded out twice and struck out.
Wesley Wright does not have overpowering stuff. He certainly has good enough stuff to be effective at the major league level. Just a matter of consistency and kind of, as I mentioned earlier, finding his game, what he needs to do to be successful.
The appeal went to 3rd. They get a strike out of Greg Gibson's call. 2-1 for Figueroa. Nelson finds it pretty easy to find his way around Houston, he said today. Shaking off some signs from Castro here. And hitting the corner for a strike to even to count it. Toronto beat Baltimore 9-5. Brandon Morrow the winner. He's 7-6. He beat Brad Ferguson, who's 3-9. Percy got his first save. And that's lined to right center field. A gapper. Colvin hits for second. And still running as the ball gets away from Michael Bourne to third base. And he reaches third with 2 outs, and the Cubs up 5-1.
Extra base hits, the order of the day for the Cubs. 10 hits now, a bunch of doubles, a home run, and now this triple. Again, the backdoor breaking ball, it stays up, and Colvin yanks it into the alley in right center field. An interesting player. He's got power. He runs well. Suspect as his career moves along, he'll be more in an RBI slot. Now working as a leadoff man and doing a nice job.
Castro with a liner, Lee in left with a catch. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left for the Cubs in the 6th inning. They lead it 5-1. By Benjamin Zobrist, a leaping catch in right field to help him keep the no-hitter alive. And then he gets the final fly ball to right field as well. And no-hitting Detroit tonight, 5-0. First no-hitter by a Tampa Bay pitcher. Joe Madden's club loving the scene with that home win to open an 11-game homestand.
There's the list of no-hitters so far this year. Edwin Jackson threw his against the Rays. Now it's Braden Ubaldo Jimenez, Roy Halladay.
Cubs are making a double switch. They have a new catcher in the game. Coy Hill is the catcher. Soto leaving after a 1-for-3 game with 2 runs batted in. Justin Berg, the pitcher, facing Hunter Pence.
Just about all the guys on that list better before the no-hitter than after.
Yeah.
Ubaldo has struggled lately. Halladay's been pretty consistent, but he was so good early on. Braden has had his struggles.
Sure has. I think he was winless since his no-hitter, and maybe until a couple nights ago. Justin Berg with a 5.31 ERA in 20 games.
Edwin Jackson has struggled. Armando Galarraga, the kid who would have had the perfect game if not for the call at first base, was actually sent to the minor leagues.
Upstairs from Berg. Berg was recalled from AAA Iowa July 5th. Faced the Astros twice last week in the series in Chicago. He gave up a 2-run homer to Johnson. Chris hit him in the first game. A little tap. And Corey Hill takes care of out number 1. So Hunter, who's hit .339 in his last 15 games, and struck out twice, now rolled out to the catcher. And it's Carlos Lee who's 0 for 2. Minnesota is bombing Kansas City 14-0 in the middle of the 6th inning. Francisco Liriano pitching a shutout. Minnesota's won 7 straight series at Kauffman Stadium now, going 18-6 during that span against the Royals. Twins are only a game behind the front-running White Sox coming into play today. Good action there for Berg. That makes it 0-2 to lead. Zach Greinke is scheduled to start that game. We'll see what the damage was. The Twins got 6 in the first. Got a moving fastball there, sinking that one down and in.
Yeah, that's his game. He kind of has an upright delivery, recoils a little bit. He kind of plants that front foot, throws against it, and gets real good sink on his fastball.
Greinke gave up 8 earned runs in 4 innings tonight. His ERA is 4.01 now. Line to center field. Carlos got a pitch up he could handle. And he's on with a 1-out hit.
Hit the ball hard first time up, Carlos did, but Colvin robbed him of an extra base hit in right field. Here's Berg's delivery. He stays tall. And right over the top he comes. There's that strong front side I talked about as he plants that front foot, uses that as leverage to sink his fastball. That was just a floating breaking ball.
Carlos low-bridged him. Jeff Keppinger is grounded out twice. Strike one. Your league leaders brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, showing you the highest batting averages in the National League this month. Buster Posey is on an 18-game hitting streak. He's hit .469 this month. Then Castro, Ramos Ramirez, and Jeff Keppinger all on that list. Flipped into right field. Carlos to second base on a single by Keppinger. Back-to-back hits for the first time for the Astros in this game.
And notice they showed you that list, and 2 rookies on there, Posey and Castro. I can't remember a year where there's been this many young players break in and do it in a big way. And it all started way back in spring training with all the buzz about Jason Hayward. He got off to a great start, then got hurt. But he's back healthy and swinging it well again. But Posey and Castro, and then the pitchers, Garcia. Strasburg, my goodness.
Chris Johnson at Latos. Johnson's 1 for 2 in this game. Chacin warming up for the Astros. And strike one to Chris. Buster Posey, during his current 18-game hitting streak, which is the longest active in majors, is hitting .472 with 5 doubles, 6 homers, and 22 runs batted in. That's the second longest rookie hitting streak in San Francisco Giants history. Willie McCovey had 5 more games on his record. Fly ball, broken bat. It goes to left field. Soriano with a catch. The barrel of the bat is near third base. 2 outs.
When we play the Marlins, we'll get to see Gabby Sanchez and Mike Stanton.
Yeah.
All rookies having big years.
You're right, though. This rookie crop.
Ike Davis of the Mets. He's got 14 bombs.
CJ retired. The bat shattered. Castro comes up for the 3rd time. He struck out and he's grounded out to the pitcher. And The on-deck circle with a pitcher spot due up next is Jason Michaels. Milwaukee got a run in the 8th to lead the Reds 3-2 now, bottom of the 8th. Ball 1 to Castro.
I think as a left-handed hitter, I think you got to be thinking other way against this guy with that sink running down and away from you. If he makes a mistake, leaves it over the middle, you can turn on that one, but the one moving away, if you try to pull it, you're not going to be able to do much with it.
Line shot. And caught by Terrio for the 3rd out. No runs, 2 hits. Couple of men left. 5-1 Cubs after 6.
Here's your chance to meet a Houston Astros player and become the ultimate Whataburger Whata fan. Come out Tuesday for an autograph session with Jeff Keppinger at the Whataburger location below from 11 to noon. While there, you can sign up to be the ultimate Whataburger Whata fan and have a chance to win 2 sweet tickets for the Astros Cubs game on October 2nd and Whataburger for a year. Plus, be on the field for batting practice and throughout the first pitch. Don't miss this chance to meet Jeff Keppinger at Whataburger. Guys, back to you.
You can learn a lot from him. Good player. Really knows the game. There's strike 1 here in the 7th inning. Derek Lee has a double in 3 trips. Nelson Figueroa working his 2nd frame. Pitcher spot due to lead off the bottom half of the inning. Fouled away by D. Lee, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. White Sox are leading at home over Seattle 4-1. They're in the bottom of the 8th now. John Danks pitching a strong game. Paul Konerko hit his 22nd home run. And Felix Hernandez on the hill for Seattle. White Sox looking strong. Leading the AL Central. Seattle's only 1-8 at U.S. Cellular since the beginning of the 08 season. 1 ball, 2 strikes to D. Lee. Ramirez and Bird to follow. Watches that one, and it's 2-2.
That's when you can tell a hitter's starting to feel more comfortable in the batter's box. When he's down in the count and he's able to disregard a pitch that close.
Yeah.
Generally indicates that he's starting to see it a little bit better, trusting his hands, staying back, not lunging.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Figueroa has been around quite a while now. As I mentioned, he's 36 years of age. He doesn't have great velocity or movement on his fastball, but he really knows how to pitch. He locates it well.
Rolled out to second. Keppinger in. 1 out. AT&T has a little trivia question for us tonight. Let's see if you can get the answer. Name the only 3 Cubs third basemen who have had 100 RBI seasons. goes this guy, Ramirez. How about Ron Santo? Say do it. Here's 2 for 3 tonight. Strike one. Say is not the answer. The other two do fit into our plan to answer this 3-part question.
How far into the Wayback Machine do we have to go?
Probably way.
Probably not Gary Scott.
No.
Steve Buechele played a little third base there.
Yeah.
I don't think Boo was ever a 100 RBI guy. Good player.
Maybe at Texas, but not there.
How about Andy Pafko, somebody like that?
I thought he was an outfielder. Maybe he was a third baseman. Could be right. 3 and 1. How about Hack Miller?
Hack Miller? Is he related to Hack Wilson?
No, I don't think so.
How many hacks did they have over there?
Apparently a few. Hack Miller was a guy who popped up on the right side of the infield. Keppinger, about 5'8" and 220 or something. Apparently the story was he used to train by carrying radiators up and down steps.
Really?
Let's see what the answer really is to this question.
Miller.
Hack Miller. The 3 Cubs 100 RBI men were. Hey, you got it.
How about that?
Pafko was a third baseman. Good work.
Hack Miller. I'm looking him up right now.
All right, he might have been an outfielder too. Marlon Byrd 0 for 2 with a walk.
He was a good-looking ball player. Left field. Lawrence H. Hack Miller, 5'9", $195.
Okay. When did he play?
Brooklyn and Boston and then Chicago from 22 through 25. Now, what did he used to do?
He used to train, the story goes, by carrying a radiator up and down steps. Before the sophisticated gymnasiums came along.
Yeah. I love it. So, you guys used to go out and chop a lot of wood.
Yeah.
On that top hand.
That's true. They did that. 1 and 2. Giovanni Soto left the game with a bruised left hip. So he didn't have to slide in the game, did he? No, somehow he bruised his hip. Maybe he had that injury before he came into this game.
He did it on that one throw. He made the second base. It looked so ugly.
Yeah.
Maybe he kind of tangled up a little bit.
He might have.
Got more on Hack Miller here.
What do you have?
His father was known as Sebastian the Strong Man.
Okay.
Miller smashed large stones and hammered nails through 2-inch thick boards with his fist. That is when men were men.
Yeah.
That's a hard ball player there, baby.
3 and 2.
He hit a little bit, too.
What he?
Had big numbers in the Pacific Coast League. He's been 40 a couple of times out there.
I'm getting the announcement that Soto had a bruised left foot. Bouncer on through into center field. A 2-out single from Marlon Byrd.
Got his nickname Hack because of his resemblance to Russian wrestler Hackenschmidt.
Okay. Byrd joins the hit parade. That's 11 hits for the Cubs. They've had hits in every inning.
352 for the Cubbies in 1922. Hack Miller.
Was he an outfielder?
Left fielder.
Okay. Soriano has a pair of doubles tonight and a strikeout. She's keeping score.
It's not good when the fans have the rally caps on. She's probably had that on since the second inning.
Xavier Nady's in the on-deck circle. Heck, she might have put it on at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
That's for fans this year. Just get out of bed and strap on the rally cap. Hope for the best. as I continue to bounce my way through the cyber world here, now I'm seeing a story that Hack Wilson may have gotten his nickname because of his resemblance to Hack Miller.
Okay. You're on to something then. The Hack tradition was handed down. The nicknames were great back in those days. Well, they had some fabulous nicknames.
Well, there are a lot of colorful nicknames that I think were given by writers, and they were just kind of, we've talked about the death to flying things. There was two guys, right? Bob Ferguson, and there was another guy.
Yeah.
I'm doubting when the guy showed up at the clubhouse, his team said, "Hey, what's up, Death to Flying Things?"
Probably not. Hey, Death, how's it going?
Death, that's what it's called. Danny Darwin, Death, Dr. Death.
We did call him that.
To Death. What's up, Death?
I think he liked it.
Yeah.
And then there was Hugh losing pitcher Mulcahy. So some of these nicknames arrived, honestly, they were nicknamed from their pursuits on the field.
So I probably should have been Jim Can't Hit a Lick to Shays. That would have been a good one.
No doubles. And there's a swing and a miss and a strikeout for Soriano at the top of the 7th inning. They went into their no doubles defense when JD was at the plate. 5-1.
Golly, it worked.
"5-1 Cubs lead it as the fans wrap up their 7th inning stretch. Catch all the exciting Houston Astros baseball this summer with dynamic pricing tickets. Dynamic pricing allows for ticket prices to change in select seating sections based on supply and demand. Prices will fluctuate with deals up to 50% off face value as a possibility. Go to Astros.com often to check current prices of dynamic pricing seats. But you got to be vigilant, Brownie. Check the website. You could save some big dough on tickets."
Oh, thank you for the reminder. And Jason Bourgeois is the pinch hitter here for Nelson Figueroa. Jason 2 for 6 with an RBI, a couple of walks as a pinch hitter for the Astros this year. He's facing Berg in his 2nd inning, in relief of Silva. And Jason fouls it. That sinker down and in. No balls, 2 strikes to the Houston native. Figueroa in 2 innings allowed 3 hits, 1 run. No walks, 2 strikeouts.
Astros with 7 hits tonight. 6 of them have been singles. Just the 1 extra base hit, the leadoff just doubled by Michael Bourne in the bottom of the 1st. And they managed to get that run home, but that's been it. Nothing but goose eggs since then.
Those people among the 25,037 who purchased tickets for this game. Bourgeois played a little second base. He hadn't played there in 4 years, but he was involved in turning a double play on Saturday. And he's been taking grounders now at second base to try to become more versatile. Ball to third. Ramirez across the lead. One out for Berg.
Yeah, I think Brad Mills likes the idea of, certain games having Bourne and Bourgeois together at the top of the order where they could really wreak some havoc with their legs. We've talked about it all year long, and again tonight there's just one extra base hit. When you don't hit the ball out of the ballpark, you don't hit a bunch of doubles. You got to find ways to score runs, and one of the ways Millsy thinks he can do it is with that speed at the top of the order.
Michael Bourne taps one. Berg is over and tried to tag him and did. 2 outs.
Showing a little athleticism here, bouncing off the mound and able to chase down Michael Bourne. Would have been a lot easier just to flip the ball to first base.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Why risk a pulled hamstring if you could just make that short flip?
Yeah, because there's a lot of players that say, well, if you get a chance to tag a guy, tag him, don't risk the errant throw. But that's pretty hard to mess up that play. 30 feet away, just flip the ball to first.
I think it's the challenge. Beating somebody in a race.
Can run him down. I can get him.
Sanchez 0 for 2 with a walk.
I think more than anything, it's probably the not realizing how fast Michael Bourne is. And this is going to be an easy play. And then, it's not so easy after all. Guarantee Berg will go into the dugout after this inning and turn to somebody and go, man, that guy can fly. And they'll say, you think? Throw the ball to first.
Yeah, what was that we talked about in the scouting report? That guy could fly. No balls, 2 strikes. Coy Hill blocks it. Yankees beat Cleveland 3-2. Family time there. Javier Vasquez, the winner, went to 9-7, beating Jake Westbrook. He's 6-7. Save number 21 went to Mariano Rivera. Ground ball past a diving Ramirez, and Sanchez takes his hitting streak to 8 games now.
It's going to be interesting what happens when Tommy Manziel comes off the disabled list. Sanchez has played well. Anderson Hernandez can play the position. Very good defender.
Yeah. Be a real battle for playing time. Lance Berkman's 2 for 3. RBI single in the first. Infield hit in the third. Ball 1. Milwaukee beat Cincinnati 3-2. Carlos Villanueva got that win in relief, beating Bronson Arroyo. Brewers got a run in the 8th to win it, and John Axford got his 15th save. Weeks and Edmonds went deep.
With another rookie.
Yeah,
you know a lot about him. He's doing well. The kid we saw yesterday, Mike Leake.
Yeah.
Reds having a great year. Brewers now 8 games behind St. Louis. Have won 5 in a row now.
Bouncer, Derek Lee. Whoop, nobody at second. He throws back to first. The pitcher missed the base. Where was Castro? He was behind second base. And Lee was going to get the force play to win the inning, but Castro was not at the bag. And he had to turn around and get it to the pitcher, but Burke didn't hit the bag with his foot.
Yeah, I take a look at this because I think Burke did get the bag. I'm just not sure if he got it at the right time, but nobody home there. Oh, no, he's beyond the bag at that point.
A breakdown.
Let's see, where's Castro?
He's behind the base. He didn't even go to second. And Berkman almost got hurt because Burke was trying to get his footing there. Rule of fielder's choice.
Castro's flat-footed there. Again, that's We were talking about earlier, he has a tendency to check out mentally.
Wow, that was a brain grab. Now, Hunter Pence with a single up the middle. And Sanchez scores to make it 5-2 in the RBI single by Pence. 49th run batted in. He takes over the club lead.
That is a gift.
Even though there was no error on that play, the Cubs lead the majors in allowing unearned runs. They've allowed 62, and still was a defensive mistake that allowed that run to score. Now Lou Pinella's coming out. Pence capitalizing with the RBI single. Well, Pinella's made the move to the pen. He's had Andrew Kashner warming up a few minutes ago. And Berg was just about out of his second scoreless inning when things went awry. So he'll be charged with that earned run and maybe more to come, thanks to Castro not going to second base to cover. There's the RBI single by Pence. Ooh, he knows. Devastated. Tonight's Energy Insight is brought to you by Center Point Energy. Jose Silva gave up 1 run in 5 innings. Previous 2 starts were rotten, but he got back in a good way tonight. The Cubs have had 5 doubles, a triple. Terrio hit a homer. Wright gave up 4 runs in 5 innings. Now it's 5-2. Cubs lead, and they've called in Andrew Kashner from Conroe, and he has been very impressive, throwing sometimes up to 100 miles per hour, JD.
Yeah, hard throwing right-hander, former Conroe Tiger, TCU Horned Frog, and now a Chicago Cub. I was told before the ball game that he might not be available today because he's been battling a little sore throat or something. Wasn't feeling well. But apparently he's available enough.
Face Carlos Lee with 2 on. Strike 1. Lee 1 for 3 in this game. Kashner last pitch day before yesterday, Saturday, a couple of innings against the Cardinals. He gave up 1 run. Down to the shortstop. Castro to second, and they get the force play on Pence to win the Astros 7th. 1 run scoring on 2 hits, 2 men left. 5-2 Cubs after 7. Here's the riot, Ryan Theriot. It's Cubs 5, Astros 2. Top of the 8th coming. Time now for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast provided by Ryan Theriot. In the 6th inning on a 2-2 count. And Nelson Figueroa hit that breaking ball to left field for his first home run of the season. Ryan Theriot. Theriot hit 7 last year. That's the 15th in his major league career. He'll be due up second. Xavier Nady, first of all, batting in the 8th inning against Gustavo Chacin. He's 1-1 with a 4.97 ERA. Nady's pinch hitting for the pitcher, Cashner. Nady takes that for ball 1. Nady's been in a long slump. Year-old veteran, played for the Yankees last year. He smacks one into center field. Pinch line drive single for Nady.
Nady, originally San Diego Padre. Moved around quite a bit over the years. I'm surprised he's still here. He probably figured he'll be getting a call soon. That feels like he's about due to be traded.
Well, he was 4 for 40 until that swing. Now Ryan Theriot's the batter. He has an infield hit and that home run you saw a moment ago. Getting results announced on Jeff Fulcino's rehab assignment tonight. 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, no runs allowed for Round Rock. And he'll have at least 1 more rehab assignment, maybe more than that, before returning to the Astros. Nady, like Mike Leake of the Reds, made his debut in the major leagues, jumping straight from the college ranks to Major League Baseball without any minor league time. Fly ball, and Michael Bourne positions himself in right center field to retire Theriot.
In Nady's case, that was short-lived, though. I think with Leake, he may be one of those guys that never sees the minor leagues.
He might very well be. Coy Hill is the batter. In the double switch, he entered at catcher in the 9 spot in the order. Switch hitting catcher up for the first time tonight, hitting .204 with no homers, 8 runs batted in for Hill. Hill's been through a lot in his career. Lost parts of 3 fingers in a table saw accident, and to have them reattached. And he whacks this one to right center field. Hunter Pence over. 2 outs, and he's come back to play effectively. Been through a whole lot.
Yeah, what a horrifying feeling that must be. That saw cuts through your fingers, not only the pain, but then you realize, Mike, this could end my career.
Yeah. Good defensive player, and he's helped the Cubs. Tyler Colvin triple to right center in the 6th. He's 1 for 4. Chacin pitched Saturday against the Reds, 1 scoreless inning. He got his first major league save in Chicago in that 12-inning Astros win last Wednesday. Survived a 2-run homer by Giovanni Soto to get it. Berkman made a slick play, but the ball was foul. Dan Herron is making his Angels debut. It's 1-1 with the Angels in Boston. There's Berkman. Good glove man.
Good look at it too from that camera right down the right field line, peering in over the shoulder of Jerry Davis. Clearly foul. There's Frank.
Frank Trevino on the case. Our man in the upper deck in right field.
Spanning the globe.
That is scary to be up that high. And Margaret, his wife, is in a truck about 5 stories below. Broken bat, it's lined to Berkman. In the 8th inning, no runs a hit, a man left. Cubs lead at 5-2.
youth baseball programs throughout the state of Texas. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy's commitment to youth baseball programs, you need to go to ChevyTexasBaseball.com. Guys, back to you.
There's a good look at a couple of youngsters talking some baseball, maybe getting a little advice, or just mostly having fun. Right here at Minute Maid Park tonight, where it's 5-2. The Cubs lead it. They're going with pitcher number 4, Sean Marshall, with Jeff Keppinger due to lead it off for the Astros in the home 8th inning. And Marshall has done an excellent job in the Cubs bullpen as a former starting pitcher. He may be returning to starting if the Cubs deal somebody in their rotation. 27 years old. He's pitched well against the Astros this year.
He's pitched well against everybody. He's having a heck of a year. Setting up Carlos Marmol, working for the 53rd time. 6-2 ERA of 174. 192 the batting average against. One measly home run allowed.
Just one?
Just one.
2 balls, no strikes.
Probably with the wind blowing out in Wrigley, too.
Yeah. Well, that ERA you saw is 7th lowest among National League relievers. 3rd in appearances.
Hey, this Twins game is getting fun in Kansas City. It's 18-0 now. In the top of the 8th. Joe Mauer has driven in 7. He's 5 for 5. Well played, Mauer.
That's a great commercial. 2-2.
He's not hitting many home runs this year. He's got one tonight, just his 6th.
Dan Herron gave up a homer to Boston's Victor Martinez. The Angels and Boston tied 1-1 in the 2nd.
Herron will give up some home runs.
Yeah. Keppinger strikes out. It's only the 27th time this year he's fanned. Marshall gets out number 1. So the D-backs dumping the salary of Herron, but the Angels picking up somebody who's signed through next season to bolster their rotation. That was the big trade that went down yesterday. Chris Johnson's 1 for 3. Takes the curve and it's ball 1. Florida and San Francisco played an inning and a half without any score in San Francisco, with Ricky Nolasco on the mound for the Fish. That's line to left field. Johnson gets his 2nd hit of the game. He's been on a really good July surge.
Came up, was swinging it really well, went into a bit of a funk, and now back really getting it done at home plate. It's a real nice stroke here.
Hit number 10 for the Astros. The Cubs have 12. The difference being extra base hits. The Astros have 1. Cubs have 7 extra base hits. Jason Castro is 0 for 3. Blistered a line drive caught by Terrio, the second baseman, in the 6th inning. Barry Zito's pitching for the Giants tonight. He's ball 1. And Buster Posey already has a hit, so his hitting streak goes to 19 games now. And the Marlins apparently are not declaring themselves out of the race. They're playing 500 ball right now. 6.5 back in the wild card. Fly ball left field, pushing Soriano back to the right in front of the track. 2 outs. And now Jason Michaels will be the pinch hitter for Chacin. Gustavo in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs. He had no walks, no strikeouts. J. Mike once again came up with a key pinch hit yesterday, a double in the 7th inning when the Astros got 3 in their 4-0 win. 182 is his pinch hitting average with 1 homer, 5 runs batted in, but he's had several key swings of the bat in these assignments this year. Marshall delivers ball 1.
Yeah, you know, we've talked about this a lot over the years, how difficult a job it is to be a pinch hitter, and you have to define success a little bit differently for a pinch hitter. You know, the major league average is probably right around 200, if not below. when you contemplate, the at-bats he gets late in games against frontline relief pitchers. One at-bat, coming cold off that bench.
You're right. It's the most challenging type of hitting usually. 1-1 to J. Mike. He has 15 hits in his last 45 at-bats. Ramirez gets it. Oh, safe at second base. His throw is offline to Terrio. And Ramirez will be drawing his 12th error of the year for what should have been the third out of the inning.
Yeah. Cubs trying to give this one away. Castro with the mental mistake last inning, and now the errant throw. And I'm not so sure that Terrio should have caught this ball, though. There's a little culpability on both ends of this one. I'm going to look at it here. An easy play. Yeah, Bot's got to be an E4.
Okay.
Catch that ball. That's got to be an error on Terrio.
They ruled it error 5.
Come on. Yeah, they'll fix it. They'll look at the video. They'll get it right.
Okay.
Our guys down there scoring.
Now Michael Bourne is 2 for 4.
Is it Rick tonight?
Oh, it is Rick tonight.
They'll get it right.
Strike 1. No problem changing the call. Yep.
Boom. There
It's
you
already
go.
been changed.
I hear Rick's voice now over the PA.
E4. Ryan Terrio draws his 9th of the year.
Well, that's Ryan Terrio for you. Hit a home run, make an error. All wood, no leather.
1 ball and 1 strike.
We're probably not so sweet right now with the play of his middle infielders here in the last couple innings.
That'll give you a sour disposition when you think you've ended the inning. And now you've got 2 men on base. It looks a little uneasy with this club up 5-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Bourne.
Yeah, I don't. Lou has announced his retirement, but I don't sense there's going to be a riding off into the sunset mentality from Lou. He's going to be engaged every single day.
Now he has said, just because I say I'm retiring doesn't mean I don't want to win games. He's talked about getting back into the race. He said, well, see if you can work your way 4 or 5 games out of the lead and see what you do after that. And that's strike 3 to end the 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 men left. 5-2 Cubs after 8.
Follow the Astros on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phone with MLB.com. At Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Visit Astros.com tonight.
We go to the 9th inning, and Wilton Lopez will be pitcher number 4 for the Astros. With a 3-0 record, his ERA is 4.06. He pitched Friday night against Cincinnati, 1 hitless inning, and had 3 strikeouts in that frame, JD.
Well, the Cubs seem like they want to give this one away. But the Astros down to their final chance, so close to 0 here, and who knows? I don't see Marmol thrown out there in the bullpen.
Nope.
And Marshall's going to finish this one off.
Castro takes, and there's ball 1 to Starlin. He's 1 for 4. Remember, there was a scoring change on Lance Berkman's ball in the 7th inning. He's been given his 3rd hit of the game rather than a fielder's choice play. And a grounder to Derek Lee. 2 balls, no strikes.
Take it, Puma.
We still don't have that up on the scoreboard, but we'll check it. 3 balls, no strikes. Castro doubled in the 1st inning. Cubs have hits in all 8 innings so far. Sanchez, Berkman, and Pence due up in the Astros 9th. And it's a strike for a 3-1 count. Cubs have never been above 500 this season. Last year they went through a full year without ever getting to 500 or above, was 2002. Smacked and by the shortstop Sanchez into left center field. Well hit ball by Castro for his 2nd hit. Hits in all 9 innings for the Cubs. Total of 13 in the game.
They've left exactly 1 man on base in each inning. No more, no less. Kid's got strong hands, strong wrists.
You know, JD, they say 1 is the loneliest number
that you'll ever do.
Derek Lee doubled in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 4. Strike to Lee.
Lopez's best pitch, that sinker. Took the outside corner with it. Castro wants to throw it inside. Lopez disagrees. Maybe a little slide ball here. Oh, another sinker.
0-2 to D. Lee.
He's got such good movement on that pitch. Very difficult to locate it. I think he just started at the plate, tried to throw it over the middle of the plate and let it take off.
Derek's getting close to 1,000 career runs batted in. He has over 300 homers. 1 and 2. Those are big milestones for any hitter. When he left Florida, he was the Marlins all-time home run leader. Derek will turn 35 in early September. He was a 1st-round pick by San Diego in '93. Ground ball. Sanchez with a flip. Captain to the middleman. 6-4-3 double play. Sharply hit ball. That's number 90 for the Astros in the double play department this year.
It's a good sinker going to work for Lopez. Gets Lee to beat the ball into the ground. He hits it hard, but a step or 2 to the left for Sanchez. Then the flip. And a pretty easy double play. Plenty of pace on this ground ball.
Usually the infielders are alert when there's a sinker ball guy on the mound. Aramis Ramirez, like Lee, closing in on 1,000 runs batted in for his career. There's ball 1. He's 2 for 4 tonight. These 2 cornermen for the Cubs have been really dependable for a long time in their careers. I wonder if that combination will be coming back next year. Probably not, from the sounds of things. With Lee headed for free agency as of now. So if he does depart the scene, it could be Tyler Colvin moving to first base. Nady could play some first. There's a head-first dive, but unsuccessful.
On me.
That was somebody else who fell out. I wasn't the guy. Well, we got to see 8 innings anyway.
Oh, man. I think she pushed him. Going to go to the video.
He came down hard. That's Berkman diving. I've seen that a few times over the years. Two balls and a strike. They liked it. That all-out hustle that he's been known for over the years. His girlfriend trails him up the stairway.
The walk of shame.
The perp walk.
Do we really have to go? Yes, you really have to go. But I'm sorry, you really have to go.
But Sanchez, Berkman, and Pence are coming up in the bottom half.
Yeah. Look at these guys. Look at these vultures coming in. Look, there's some great seats available.
They've swooped in. 2-2 the count. And a swing and a miss for a strikeout. Double play ball and a strikeout for Wilton. Now the Cubs face the Astros. Sanchez, Berkman, and Pence in the bottom half. Some people not around to see it. It's 5-2 Cubs. Dealers in the 2010 F-150 and by the Progressive Insurance Group. Cubs 5, Astros 2. There's been rain in the area, but no problem here at Minute Maid Park. And now the Astros will try to do what is very difficult to do. A job on Carlos Marmol. He comes in with the easiest of save situations, a 3-run lead. With 1 inning to go, he's 18 of 22 in saves, and look at the strikeout to walk numbers. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous what he's doing in that regard. 89 strikeouts and 47 in the 3rd inning. Just an incredible pace. And he's allowed 1 home run, a 145 batting average against. He's really hard to hit. So to beat him, you got to be patient and try to work some walks. That's what happened the last time he blew a save against the Phillies. He walked 5 guys in 2/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit and 4 runs. And he can get erratic. Angel Sanchez 1 for 3 with a walk. Takes strike 1. We have checked the Lance Berkman 7th inning at bat, and they say it was not a hit. It was a fielder's choice play. Carlos Marmol has allowed only 1 earned run in 29 appearances against the Astros. 0-2 in the 2 games in Chicago last week. Total of 2 innings of hitless ball. 27-year-old right-hander has been really tough to solve. Doesn't always throw strikes. 1-2. Astros did hand him a blown save April 18th. Gave up 1 run and 1 1/3 innings. Strike 3. Sanchez caught looking for out number 1. And now Lance Berkman. We had that rumor that he had been given a hit in the 7th inning, but checked it out, and that was not the case. So he's 2 for 4 tonight. Hunter Pence on deck. Red Mills Club hoping to stir it up against the hard-throwing Marmol. Signed as a free agent in '99 from the Dominican Republic, and he was a catcher outfielder, converted to pitching in '02. Strike to Berkman. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
You know, Marmol with that delivery, obviously very difficult for right-handed hitters, but he dominates lefties as well. It doesn't matter. Just got nasty stuff.
Little roller brings out Corey Hill. Goes to Derek Lee, 2 outs. Now Hunter Pence. There's been a rubber game of the 3-game series each time so far. The Astros and Cubs have met all 3 series. The Astros have won all 3 of those. Now the Astros down to their final out with Hunter Pence 1 for 4 and RBI, taking strike 1. Tomorrow night at 7:05, game 2 of this 4-game series. Brett Myers and Ted Lilly. 0-2. Wednesday we have a day game at 1:05 matching Bud Norris and Randy Wells. Lou Pinella's club trying for its 46th win against 54 losses this year. 1-2. Cubs bullpen has had some rough sledding since the All-Star break with a 6.03 ERA. Coy Hill over. That's another catcher's mitt, it appears. Cubs fans are hoping their road record gets a little bit better than it has been. 19-27. They always draw wherever they go. Fly ball right. Colvin backing. Colvin to the wall and off the wall. It kicks back toward the infield. Pence will stop with a double. A well hit ball for his 16th 2-base hit of the year.
Boy, nice swing of the bat there by Hunter. Down in the count, a couple of strikes against a tough right-hander like Marmol. Hanging in there and really delivering, driving this ball to right field. We'll stay back a little bit longer. You don't want to get fooled by that slider with 2 strikes. He just misses driving it out of here.
Yeah, he can be proud of that hit. He's now 4 for 15 in his career against Marmol. Ball 1 to Lee, who's 1 for 4. That single coming in the 6th inning off Justin Berg. Marmol pitcher number 5 for Lou Piniella. It's 2-2. Astros now have 11 hits. The Cubs have 13. The bat splintered and the ball rolled foul. That's some crazy stuff. Here's part of it. Dave Clark comes over to pick up another part of it.
Whirly bird slider. Carlos well out in front of it, hits it right off the end of the bat. He's probably using one of those cupped bats. Cut a little indentation into the end of the bat.
Looked like balsa wood the way it went flying. 3 balls and a strike for Marmol now at 15 pitches for the evening. Carlos pitched last night, 1 hitless inning against the Redbirds. 3-2. Got to hit that at 95. Kepinger's on deck. And on a breaking pitch, Lee strikes out to end it. Cubs win it 5-2. Silva, the winner, going to 10-4, beating Wright, who's 0-1. Ormo getting save number 19. Lou Pinella's club now 4-6 against the Astros. And Ryan Theriot